Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back to the channel. Now today in this video, in just a couple of minutes, I'm going to help you get out of your own way when it comes to journaling. I know that so many of you want to journal, you understand the benefits of journaling. Journaling here in the context of self-awareness and for self-development, for productivity, for actually achieving your goals, for getting out of your own way, for interrupting these subconscious and sometimes even conscious self-sabotage patterns we have. And for my clients, when they're really thriving in coaching, they're like, yes, I want more of this. This is working. I love this. This is great. And they ask, what can I do between sessions? My answer is almost always includes journaling as a way to continue this work for yourself, to get more benefits out of coaching for yourself. Using journaling to coach yourself, because I would not recommend just trying to do all the coaching work in your mind. Your mind tends to run in circles. It's hard to keep track of things. Even with the best working memory, you're not going to get as far with coaching, with self-coaching in your head versus on paper. But let me come back. This today is not a video on the benefits of journaling, but instead this video is for you if you want to journal, but you keep finding yourself, despite that, not journaling. I'm going to tell you the number one thing that gets in my way, or that threatens getting in my way of actually journaling and therefore getting the benefits of journaling, which I so want in my life, especially after years of evidence as to how impactful just a couple of minutes can be on my day and on my results as a whole, so that I can help you get out of your own way and finally start getting those benefits of journaling too. All right, so firstly, this is my favorite protocol to journal with, and this is my thought download and thought upload. I will have a link below for this very simple but very impactful protocol that is really my default for journaling. The thought download is really just a stream of thoughts. It's emptying out what thoughts are in your mind. And you want to do this, I want to do this, because whether I'm aware of the thoughts or not, they are affecting me. Thoughts have an emotional impact, which then affect my behavior, which of course accumulates to my results, my outcomes in my life. So I want to know what I'm thinking, because I know that what I'm thinking affects me, even if I can't consciously see it at the time. So journaling, doing a thought download, downloading all my thoughts from my mind, helps me to see what I'm thinking. Now in this protocol as well, I not only have a section for the thoughts, but the far right quarter of the page has a margin titled emotions, and that's for me to write down the emotional impact of each thought. And this is something that, sometimes will come very naturally as I'm actually writing the thought and putting attention on it. I'll be like, oh, I can notice that emotion, I can feel that emotional effect straight away. And even if you can't name the specific emotion, you could think about broader categories as to how these thoughts affect you. Does it feel draining? Does it make me feel more tired or heavy? Or does it make me feel more energetic and bright? Does it make me feel constricted and tense? Or does it make me feel expansive and open or capable, energetic? But I can't tell you how important, as a mindset coach, how important being able to link the emotional impact of the thought is when you do your journaling work. And I don't know of any other protocol that suggests this. And as a mindset coach, I can't tell you how impactful it is to do this thought awareness work paired with emotional work, to really understand the importance of the thoughts by linking them to the associated emotion, understanding how the thoughts affect you. This is something, as far as I'm aware, that is specific to my journaling protocol. I don't see anybody else doing it. I do not know why. It's crazy in my opinion, because the whole reason that we care about the thoughts is because we care about how they affect us emotionally, then behaviorally, and therefore in our outcomes. So I highly recommend doing your thought download in that way, with that emotional factor as well. Then we've got the thought upload, which is where we basically create a purposeful cognitive program. You know how I just said your thoughts create your emotions, which create your behaviors? Well, in the thought upload, we decide what thoughts we want to upload to our brains based on how we want to behave that day or in that moment. So we actually start with picking our behavior. And then we fill in the cognitive program backwards because we're ultimately trying to answer the question, what thought would generate that behavior? By identifying, this is how I want to behave, what emotion would support that behavior, what emotion would fuel that behavior, and what thought would fuel that emotion. Now, with all that being said, explaining the kind of journaling protocol I do, now I can tell you what gets in my way of doing this and why that objection is just not true and proven not true again and again and again and again, so I can give you that answer, and why that objection is a misunderstanding so that you can see this misunderstanding in your life, in your journaling blocks as well. So the number one thing that gets in the way of me doing this very simple journaling protocol, which takes just a couple of minutes, no more than 8 minutes to be precise, is the thought, I'm not really thinking anything right now. I haven't really got anything on my mind right now. There's nothing really going on out there. I'm a bit of a blank slate today. And therefore I can just skip the journaling protocol because, you know, there are clearly no thoughts that are getting in my way or weighing me down or potentially there to self-sabotage me. And this is a thought error. And specifically this morning when I did the journaling practice anyway, largely because I've just got so much evidence in the past of when I think that thought that it doesn't actually turn out to be true. That even though I'm thinking that I'm not thinking anything, irony. Actually, I find time and time again when I just do the journaling practice, there are all these thoughts and all these impactful thoughts that I couldn't see getting in my way and weighing me down. That's exactly what happened this morning. And specifically, I just want to read out some of my thoughts to you to show you guys how difficult it is to see that you're thinking, because so many of these thoughts are just hidden in plain sight. They don't seem like thoughts. They seem like observation of fact. And with that comes this misunderstanding that they don't have any emotional impact. Let me give you some examples. So some of the thoughts I wrote down. I notice my head and body feels heavy. I want to feel better. I'm worried I won't be able to focus today. I have so much to do. Today is going to be hard. I know I need to do a reel about Dear Darling being open, but I don't want to. Why? Well, I feel exhausted. I don't feel in the excited mood that I want to be in when I talk about Dear Darling. That reveals how I really feel about Dear Darling. Now, a lot of you at this point might be nodding along and thinking, yeah, I mean, firstly, you probably resonate with a lot of these thoughts too. You know, the thoughts of like, I want to feel better. I have so much to do. Today's going to be hard. And they might seem like facts. But here is the impact of having this part of the journaling exercise where you note the emotional impact of the thought. Because when I scanned my body, both as I was writing and for some of the thoughts when I went back and read them again, here are some of the emotions that I picked up from those thoughts. Frustrated, hesitant, defeated, afraid, pressure, trapped, right? And remember, before I did that journaling practice, I thought there was nothing going on up there. There was nothing going on in here. There was nothing weighing me down or in my way. But look at those emotions. It just took me slowing down and actually getting some self-awareness to recognize, yeah, there is this low level, rumbling, emotional resistance and emotional drag to my day. And you know, as you can see from the thoughts that were coming up, I had high expectations for the day. I had some ambitions for the day. And importantly, the day seemed challenging to me. Really wanted to put myself in a position to show up to what felt like a challenge that day. And those thoughts were not only not helping me, but they were actually dragging me down. Notice how those emotions are energy drags. They steal my energy and they contract me and they make me feel tired. They make me feel agitated. They make me feel uncomfortable in my body. But I was like a fish in water. I thought that I was just observing the facts, and these thoughts just felt so normal to me. They felt like the water around me. I couldn't see the water around me until I put those thoughts out on paper, until I slowed down on them and I actually checked, do these have an emotional impact and what is it? Yeah, they're not having these big, totally grabbing, all-consuming emotional effects. But that low grade in the background rumbling is certainly enough to affect me in the way that totally derails my work. And the thing that I thought about when it came for me doing my thought upload was, you know, what I'm most at risk of in this day and what derails my day the most is when I procrastinate because I'm trying to escape how I feel, right? That was the biggest risk that I had, that as I was working, I'd be tempted to pick up my phone or talk to somebody or get out of my chair and do something else, get a drink or get something to eat, you know, anything to escape, even if it's just a low level agitation or resistance or discomfort. That's enough to trigger those escaping behaviors that I have. So then in my thought upload, I was like, okay, what behavior do I want? No, I first said to focus, and then I got more specific and I was like, actually what I really want is to not react to the urge, that impulse to pick up my phone. That's what I want to focus on. And I said, how do I need to feel to be able to do that? And the feeling that I came up with was capable. And what I was referring to there was feeling capable to feel the discomfort that would otherwise drive the behavior of me reacting to the impulse. And so then I came up with some thoughts that would make me feel capable, and they were, I can allow this discomfort. Again, guys, such a simple thought. It doesn't even seem like a thought, does it? Because it's not elaborate or extraordinary. It's a mundane, simple thought. I can allow this discomfort. But I wanted to remember that in the day. I wanted to repeat that in the day because it makes me feel capable. It actually reminds me that I can allow any discomfort in my body and continue to work. That thought, I can allow this discomfort in my body, makes me feel capable, and then it allows me to allow that impulse, to not react to the impulse of picking up my phone. And it did. I had such a wonderful, productive morning just from doing that 8 minutes. So once again, my thought, that thought that comes up in my mind that tries to avoid me going into what can be an uncomfortable place of journaling, and also it plays into my time scarcity of I don't have time for this, I could use that 8 minutes for something else, something more productive, by not buying into that thought and therefore journaling, doing my 8-minute journaling practice. I got so much back in my day. My day has gone wonderfully. So that is one of the biggest objections for me currently that comes up and threatens to self-sabotage me doing my journaling. Does this come up for you? Let me know if it's something that gets in the way. And it might be just now that I've mentioned in this video, you might be able to actually see it happening in real time. So check in with yourself the next time you plan to journal and then you notice yourself sort of veering off somewhere else. Look at what's going on in your All right, my beautiful friends, once again, find the journaling protocol down below. I would love to see you guys doing this totally high impact activity in your day. It's just 8 minutes and it's gonna give you so much back. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.